There's a reason elite operators stay ice cold while everything explodes around them. It's not genetics, not years of training. It's a stolen Eastern technique that intelligence agencies kept classified for decades. And it takes exactly 90 seconds to weaponize your own mind. What if you could rewire your stress response in less than 3 weeks? Here's what nobody tells you about mental control. Your brain is a habit-forming machine that can be hijacked with surgical precision. And the window to do it is exactly 21 days. Every time you execute a specific breathing visual pattern, you're literally carving neural highways in your prefrontal cortex. This isn't self-help nonsense. This is documented neuroscience that certain government agencies would prefer you didn't know about. In the early 1970s, a research facility in California ran classified experiments on brainwave manipulation. They discovered something disturbing. 3 weeks of daily breathing protocols permanently altered how the prefrontal cortex responded to stress. The subjects became essentially immune to panic. Why was this classified? Because a soldier who doesn't feel fear isn't human anymore. He's a weapon. The Eastern technique I'm about to reveal operates on this same principle. But here's the twist that makes it dangerous in the right hands. You're not suppressing fear. You're rewiring the trigger itself. When chaos hits, instead of your amygdala screaming danger, your brain automatically shifts into hyperfocus mode. Power Law 16 states, use absence to increase respect and honor. Applied to mental warfare, withdraw attention from chaotic thoughts, and they die from neglect. But nature hates a vacuum. Fill it with your protocol, or something else will. Special operations units drill this into operators during Hell Week. It's not about physical endurance. That's the cover story. It's about installing an automatic mental override system. When everything goes sideways, and it always does, you need a recovery protocol that activates faster than conscious thought. Here's how you weaponize this. Use the technique at the first whisper of mental chaos. Don't wait until you're drowning. The earlier you intervene, the easier to redirect the flood. Your brain learns the pattern. Chaos equals activation signal. You've essentially hacked your own alarm system. Think about the tactical advantage when chaos becomes your trigger for laser focus. High pressure negotiation, activation. Physical threat, activation. Impossible decision with lives on the line, activation. You become that infuriatingly calm person everyone envies, but nobody understands. The final piece, train in low-stress environments first. Don't field test this during an actual crisis. Build the neural muscle in controlled settings. Then when hell arrives, and it always does, you've got a battle-tested weapon. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem bulletproof under pressure, while others crumble? But before you can rewire anything, you need to understand the fatal flaw in how most people try to control their minds. This mistake doesn't just fail, it amplifies the chaos. How does a single visual point become a precision mental weapon? Now, we're getting to the tactical core. Brace yourself, because this contradicts everything you've been taught about. Focus. Most meditation methods tell you to empty your mind. That's dangerous garbage. You don't empty a chaotic mind, you give it a fixation point so intense that everything else vanishes naturally. Basic physics, focused light becomes a laser. In feudal Japan, Zen monks spent hours staring at black circles painted on rice paper. This wasn't mystical ritual. It was forced concentration training. When the brain fixates on a visual point long enough, it enters hyperfocus mode. The areas responsible for diffuse thinking simply shut down. Here's the complete technique. Choose a fixed point in front of you, a mark on the wall, a small object, anything. Stare at that point without blinking. Start the breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. But here's the trick nobody teaches. While breathing, imagine you're pulling energy from that visual point into your body on the inhale and returning it on the exhale. Why does this work? Because you've created a feedback loop between visual, respiratory, and cognitive systems. It's intentional task overload. Your brain gets so busy maintaining this cycle that no processing power remains for chaotic thoughts. They simply starve from lack of attention. ENSIS Rule 9 says, never go anywhere without a knife. Translated to mental warfare, Never enter a pressure situation without your emergency tool. That tool is the specific breathing pattern that forces the vagus nerve to calm your sympathetic nervous system. This isn't New Age theory. This is raw physiology. Special Forces snipers use a variation of this technique before taking a shot at 800 yards. Before eliminating a target, they fix on the reticle and synchronize the shot with their breathing pattern. It's not just to stabilize the weapon, it's to stabilize the mind. One intrusive thought at the wrong moment and you miss or die. What you're about to discover is that chaotic mind isn't your enemy. It's misdirected fuel. This technique doesn't eliminate mental intensity, it transforms it into laser precision. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, and I'm talking about mastery that few living humans possess, you need to understand the foundational error everyone makes. It's not just wrong, it's gasoline on fire. Why? Fighting your thoughts is like pouring gasoline on flames? I'm about to tell you something that contradicts everything you've heard about self-control. The harder you try to suppress thoughts, the more they dominate you. It's the classic white bear paradox. When I say, don't think about a white bear, what do you think about? Exactly. In the 1980s, a Russian dissident psychologist revealed Soviet experiments on thought control. They tortured prisoners not with physical violence, but by forcing them to suppress specific thoughts. The result? Psychological collapse within days. The human brain wasn't designed for internal censorship. It rebels violently. The Eastern technique operates on the opposite principle. It's not suppression, it's redirection. Imagine a raging river. You can't stop the water. Trying to build a mental dam only increases pressure until it explodes. But you can channel the flow, transform brute force into useful energy. Here's the insight that changed the game. Your breathing is the only automatic process you can consciously control. It's the bridge between voluntary and involuntary nervous systems. Control the breath, you hijack the body's alarm system. Simple as that, but the devil lives in the details. Power Law 28 states, enter action with boldness. But how do you act boldly when your mind is panicking? Here's the trick. You don't control chaos by denying it. You transform it into fuel, like a martial arts master who uses the opponent's force against himself. Samurai warriors called this kokyun, just breathing with lethal intention. Before a death duel, they executed a specific cycle, 4 counts. Inhale, 7, hold, 8, exhale. Why? Because this activates the parasympathetic system instantly. Your body physically cannot panic in this state. Have you ever noticed how powerful people speak slowly? It's not arrogance. It's unconscious breath control. They've mastered the technique without even knowing it. Now, you're going to learn consciously what they do by instinct. But here's the secret within the secret. It's not just the breathing pattern. It's where you place your attention during the breath. The subtle difference separates monks from spiritual tourists. Do you realize how much control you're about to gain over situations that used to destroy you? But there's a visual component to this technique that triples its effectiveness. Without it, you're only using 30% of the method's true power. And that's exactly what I'm revealing next. Type control in the comments if you're starting to see how this works. And tell me, what's the one situation where you need absolute mental clarity right now? Hit that like button and subscribe to learn the techniques the powerful don't want you to know. What if your mind sabotages you exactly when you need it most? Have you ever noticed how your mind collapses precisely when you need it most? Important presentation, your head turns into a riot. Critical decision, thoughts explode like defective fireworks. It's not coincidence, it's brain architecture. Here's the secret nobody tells you. Your brain was designed for the African savanna, not the corporate boardroom. When stress hits, it still thinks you're running from a lion. The prefrontal cortex, your rational command center, simply shuts down. The limbic system takes control. You become a scared primate with a college degree. Eastern masters discovered this millennia ago. While the West was still burning witches, monks in Tibet were already mapping the neurology of mental chaos. They realized something disturbing. The human mind in its natural state is a burning house. Thoughts jump like uncontrolled flames. Emotions roar like furious winds. And you, poor mortal, stand in the middle trying to extinguish fires with a water glass. The technique I'm revealing isn't fluffy meditation with spa music. It's combat mental engineering. During the Cold War, intelligence agencies studied Tibetan monks who could control body temperature, heart rate, and brain waves under torture. What they discovered was classified for decades. Why? Simple. Whoever masters their own mind has absolute power over any situation. Power Law 28 says, enter action with boldness. But how do you act boldly when your mind is in panic mode? Here's the trick. You don't control chaos by denying it. You transform it into fuel, like a martial arts master using the opponent's strength against himself. Think about it. A fighter pilot faces life or death situations at Mach 2. A neurosurgeon operates on exposed brains. A hostage negotiator talks to armed psychopaths. What do they have in common? They all use variations of this ancient Eastern technique. They just paid a fortune to learn it. You're getting it free. Have you ever wondered what separates people who thrive under pressure from those who collapse? A combat pilot doesn't just fly planes. He operates in an environment where one wrong thought at the wrong millisecond means death. Same with neurosurgeons, hostage negotiators, bomb disposal techs. They've all learned to transform mental chaos into surgical precision, and the technique they use traces back to monasteries older than most countries. But here's what changes everything. There's a breathing pattern so specific, so precisely calibrated, that it physically prevents your body from panicking. And you're about to learn exactly how to execute it. Type clarity in the comments if you're ready to transform chaos into precision. What's your biggest mental challenge right now? Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to take back control of their own mind.